Well, welcome everybody, and thank you for watching our presentation. My name is Ashley Moore, and today with me I've got Caitlin as well as Thomas. And we are all employed by Drexel University Libraries. You can often catch us behind the circulation desk, which is the front desk here at the library, as well as doing a lot of other things online and other services in person. So today we're going to cover a lot of stuff, but it's all of the most important sort of basics, baseline stuff that we really want you guys to be aware of when you come to the library, but also when you use our services online. There's a lot here. We've allotted, I want to say 45 minutes or so for this presentation, but we'll see how things go. And if you have any questions at all, please just reach out to us. We've got our email addresses listed here, but you can also just come in person and ask us questions. We like that a lot. So, alrighty. So today, after our little welcome and intro, we're going to dive into the different library spaces available. We're going to cover stuff about our website, as well as doing some live demonstrations with the website. We're going to talk about books, but also just background information on how things work in terms of shelving and what to look for, other important resources and extra stuff. And then we also are going to tell you guys about more Welcome Week events because we've got a lot of stuff coming up. So stay tuned. All right, so kicking things off, we're gonna skip over icebreakers for now, just because of time. But when you guys stop by or see us in person, or even when you're emailing us, let us know what your major is. Let us know what college you're in, because we're curious about that kind of stuff. And it also helps us to know what kind of resources that we can send to you based on what kinds of assignments you guys are doing that you might need help with, which librarian to go to, all that good stuff. And another thing that I want to say here is whether or not you have any prior library experience before, we really encourage you to sort of like approach your university library with a super open mind. It's not going to be a lot like the public libraries that some of you guys might have been to growing up or in your hometown or just in general. Your college library is going to be pretty different and has a lot more focused resources on things that are relevant to your classes, your programs, majors, minors, everything that you could possibly want, textbooks, and different services that you are and programming that your public library might offer. And just as another sort of side note, there's going to be a lot of like library specific terminology that we're using today. If you guys ever have questions about anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. It's one of those things where after you just get used to saying something 1,000 times, you don't really think about it. At least that's how it is for us, having been in libraries for a long time. But we know that a lot of this stuff is brand new to you all. So if you have any questions about anything, please, no question's a stupid question. Please reach out and talk to us. All right, so kicking it off with spaces. Our main library is called Haggerty Library, and it's located at 3300 Market Street. It's right in the heart of campus. It's very easy to get to. If you also are commuting from anywhere else in the city, it's a block off from the 34th Street stop on the Market Frankford line. So it's literally right there. It's very easy to get to. And you'll notice that it's got some outdoor seating and lots of windows. So keep that picture in mind. Attached to the library, though, is a special space that we call the Dragon's Learning Den. You can enter from either inside of Haggerty Library, or if it's after hours and the main building is closed, you can enter from the outside. The Dragon's Learning Den is our 24-hour space. The only time that it's not open 24 hours is during university breaks, so when there's only when there's no classes going on or on holidays when the university is closed. But the Dragon's Learning Den is a pretty large open space. It's got a lot of like diner style seating, but also spaces like this that you can see here that have things like the Think Hub, touchscreen TVs. This picture here is a really good place to hold like meetings or to practice presentations with a group. It's good. It's a good space to just kind of hang out. Honestly, if you're looking to play games, I've seen students play games in this part of the library. All of this is here for you, and you guys are allowed to do that. This is located again in the same location. It's just sort of attached to the back of Haggerty Library. And another space that we want to highlight, we have, again, like I said, there's going to be lots of things that are probably really different from any library experience that you guys are used to. But one of the things that we at Drexel Libraries have sort of taken account for in the last couple of years is giving you guys mental health resources, as many ways as we possibly can. One of the things that we have available is a very small room called the Serenity Suite. You can reserve that space. It's a space with like really calm lighting. Some you can check out noise machines. There's plants in there, and we have lots of other things like yoga balls, stress balls, puzzles, things like that to just go in and to be able to relax, recharge, take some time to yourself, regroup. That's available again in the Dragon's Den, so it's available 24 hours. And if you scan the QR code that's on this page, you can learn more about it. All right, so now I am going to pass it off to Thomas, who's going to keep going. Stop sharing my screen. So take it away.
Thank you, Ashley. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now. Pick up where you left off in the PowerPoint and show you all just a general floor plan outline of the library in lieu of an in-person interview. This will give you a good idea of the general layout, but when you first walk in the main entrance you saw in that picture that Ashley showed, that's in kind of the bottom right of your screen right now. The service desk where Ashley and Caitlin and I work is on your left. That's where you would go for all general questions or assistance having to do with printing or finding a book or just whatever other general questions you might have. As you can see, there's two printing stations kind of towards the top right there, where it says study carrels. Those are private desks that can be used. There's a scanner next to the printer that's free to use. You can scan and send to your email or USB drive as much as you want. There's some new book displays. Not many books on the first floor. When you walk in, most of them are on the second floor. But this is where you would find maybe more casual or leisure reading, you could call it, more trade paperbacks, a few reference books and career reference books, although those are not necessarily used as much nowadays with the internet, but they're there. And those yellow rooms you see, 132, 134, those are private study rooms that you can book and use by yourself or with others. Like, let's say you have a meeting or a group project you want to work on. The study rooms are great for that. And they have a link outside of every study room, which you can use to book it and reserve a specific time if you don't want to be interrupted or make sure that it's available for you when you need it. And the Dragon's Den is off to the left there next to the service desk. You'll see the stairs on the right-hand side there, which will take you to the upper and lower levels. This is just some more information about printing. It is 10 cents a page. You can pay with your Dragon card. You could load money onto it, or you could pay at the service desk with, Google Pay, Apple Pay, or any other sort of credit card. But putting money on your Dragon card can make it quicker and more convenient. Then we're going to move on to the second floor. This is where you'll find most of the books, and you'll find more study rooms as well. All those little yellow rooms, again, those are private study rooms. But you'll see where it says the stacks. That's what we call the shelves. Book shelvings are referred to as the stacks, and you'll see that term again on the website when I show you how you'd actually find where a book is located. They're organized using what's called the Library of Congress classification system. So it's not alphabetically by author, but rather it's grouped by the subject of the book, which actually makes it a lot easier for you when, let's say, you're doing a research project and you know a general topic or subject that you're researching, and you find certain books in one area, you're going to find similar books that would probably also be helpful next to those same books. So you'll see on the right, the A's start down there and it goes up alphabetically, and then numerically after that, and that's going to make more sense when I show you on the website what a call number for a book actually looks like. Um, then the lower level, this is a more kind of open floor plan sort of space, and this is also where there's no noise restrictions. This is good for group projects or meetings because you can go down there and not have to worry about being quiet necessarily, whereas the second floor is a quiet zone. We also have silent rooms on the second floor, and there's one you'll see in the bottom left on the lower level as well if you want a completely silent space. But again, the second floor is quiet or silent completely. The first floor is quiet, and then the lower level, there's no noise restrictions. But there's some classrooms in the top left there. You might find yourself having a class located in the library. A lot more study rooms as well. And this is also where the bound journals would be found. And so academic journal articles you've will probably mostly encounter in their online form, but we do have bound editions of academic journals as well, where you could actually get the physical copy. And our archives is located downstairs as well. That if you find something when you're searching the catalog where it says it's in the archives, that's by appointment only, and it would give you the archives email where you could set up an appointment to go to the archives. Like, let's say you were interested in looking at back issues of the Drexel yearbooks or thesis dissertations. Those are both kept by our archives department. Now, this is what our website looks like. I'm gonna just go ahead and navigate to it myself and show you um, just some good general tips for if you're trying to find a book, how you would go about doing that, the information you would need to locate the book. Um, so this is what the homepage of the website looks like, but I'm just going to go ahead and navigate there myself and show you a live example of what it would look like when you're trying to find a book. So this is the website. There's some helpful links you can see here on the right-hand side, probably what you would most often use the website for. You can reserve those group study rooms I showed you earlier. This is where you would go to reserve time in one of those group study rooms. And if you click on it, you can actually see all the different study rooms and when they're available. Red meaning they've already been booked, and green it would be available to book. You can see more information about printing, how you would set that up. Like I said, you can put money on your Dragon card, you can pay with a regular card, and you could download the print driver to print from your own device or web printing. And there's more detailed instructions there. You can also see our hours are always updated. If there's class the next day, we're open until midnight. Um, Finals week, we're 24/7. And yeah, also my library account, that is where you would go. If you click this, it gives you the option to sign in with your Drexel login, and you can see all books you have checked out. You could renew them online. You don't necessarily need to come in person to renew books. Um, Borrow from other libraries is Caitlin's going to go a bit more in depth about that. But basically, if we don't have a book physically and that you want, you might still see it in the catalog before you narrow down the search. I'll show you that in a second, but this is how you would be able to get that book potentially sent to us from another academic library, and it would be placed on the hold shelf for you to come pick up at the service desk. The only difference being between Easy Borrow and Iliad is that Iliad, it's interlibrary loan. It's a global system that pretty much every academic library participates in, whereas Easy Borrow is a more local consortium of libraries. So I would just recommend trying that first. You're more likely to get the book sooner, whereas Iliad it could come theoretically from anywhere. Um, Subject guides, these are really useful if you're starting out with a paper or research project in a certain topic and you just have a very general idea, let's say, and you don't, you don't know where to start. Subject guides can be really great for that. If you navigate to a certain topic, like let's say English and literature, you can see a compendium of a lot of different databases, sources, places to start looking for information and material that might be helpful to you. And it's just all collected in one, you know, easy to navigate space. So those are fun to browse through. But then let's say you just want to find a book. And you're like me, you prefer the physical book. We do have a very large online collection and printing, like I said. But if you're looking for a physical book, and let's say you're starting out by just searching an author, I'm going to use an example of William Faulkner just because we have a good amount of his books. There's also a lot of secondary literature on him. As you can see, there's almost 300,000 results. Um, and I'll show you how you can narrow those down. But this right here available at Haggerty Library Stacks, and then this code here, this means we have the book physically. It's on the second floor in those alphabetical subject heading stacks I showed you earlier in under the Fs. So the first thing you would want to do is locate the Fs, and then from there it would go numerically, and you would use the call number to locate the book. If you're not seeing stacks and then call numbers, you're seeing available online, that means you would have to sign in and you would be able to access an online PDF usually of the document, book, or article. But what you can do on the left-hand side here is narrow it down to show only exactly what you want. Like let's say you want the physical book. If you check held by library and then under material type, you check books and then apply filters, it's only going to show you the results that are actual physical books that we have. So you're only going to see call numbers. And of course, if you're just starting out looking for a book and you're having a hard time finding it or understanding call numbers, you can come see us at the service desk and we could help you. We'd be happy to help you find the book or go more into detail about all the different things you can do with the catalog because it is very broad and there's a lot in there. But let's go back to the presentation. So this is what I was talking about earlier, the subject headings. They are a letter represents a general area, a topic. Like N would be fine arts, for example, P, language and literature. That's where you would find most novels, for example. And then within that, there's subheadings where it gets more narrowed down. Like you can see an example here. The N's would be fine arts, but then of course that's very broad, and you would have NA for architecture, and B sculpture, and C so on and so on. And that can really help you narrow down exactly what it is that you're looking for. And Caitlin, if you want to take over here,
I sure will.
thank you.
Sure. Okay. So Thomas already talked about our resource sharing choices that we have here at the library. But to tell you a little bit more about each one, we do encourage you to try to use Easy Borrow first. They're similar systems, but Easy Borrow is a more localized system to Drexel. So we have other universities that participate in Easy Borrow. And that being said, it takes a lot less time usually for us to get those items to us. Just because, all of these items have to be mailed to us. And so if we're getting an item from California, that's going to take a lot longer than getting it from down the street from Penn, right? So we want you to try to do the Easy Borrow first if that is something that you would like to do. If Easy Borrow doesn't have the item that you're looking for, if it just happens to be a little more rare than that, then we encourage you to try Iliad. Iliad is a much bigger library system, or system of libraries, rather. It's on a global scale, and you can either pick up your physical items at our Haggerty Library location, or in some cases, if you're asking for articles, they might just email you the scan, which is even more convenient. We also have course reserves here at the library. You may be required to read a textbook for class that is not available online, in which case you might have to come to our front desk and request that textbook from our course reserves. Now, our course reserves cannot be lent out exactly like our normal stacks, right? We lend them out for 3 hours at a time generally. But we also have a scanner. So if you needed to scan pages for later reference, that's a great way to get all of the materials that you need for your courses. We also have citation help. I'm actually going to open a window here just to show you. My tabs, sorry. Okay, so we have these citation manuals here. This is a great place to go for a very comprehensive overview of any kind of citation style that you might need. But I also wanted to mention that we have an alternative tool here from the library page. Just follow Thomas's lead here, just to show you an example. All right, so let's find something that the library does not have. Okay, so I can come here, check for online access. It does not look like we have online access to this, so I'm going to sign in. And once you sign in, you should see these options here. We have Easy Borrow here first. Like I said, good choice to do that first, and then interlibrary loans second. And then furthermore, over here, you can click on citation and actually pick what kind of or what style of citation you'd like. I recommend you double check these just because they're being automated, but that is a very useful source if you have different styles necessary for different papers. And then there's also the Writing Center. And the Writing Center is good for if you, usually before you start a research project is the best time to go to the Writing Center. It's not a good idea to wait until you are, have to write 5 pages and you show up and you don't have anything prepared. We really encourage you to make an appointment there towards the beginning of any writing project that you might want help with. And then you can continue going there, as you work on your paper and makes different drafts. That's a great resource for especially new students. And then on our first floor, like Thomas said, we don't have a whole lot of books, but we do have a leisure section of books. We also have a lot of popular titles in that area. We have new books on display close to that area. And of course, if there's any leisure or pleasure books that you want that we don't have, you can absolutely use Easy Borrow. And I also want to talk about LibChat for a second. LibChat is not just for research questions. LibChat is for any library question that you might have. Anywhere on the library's website, you should be able to chat. Let me just go home so you can see what it looks like. So come on down here and to the right, you're going to see Chat with Drexel Libraries here. You can type in your question. And if you're worried that you're asking the wrong place or this question is silly or anything like that, do not worry about it. We can direct your question to the best person fit to answer that question for you, whether it's a librarian or staff like us. And then work study opportunities. Feel free to email LibWork Study about this, but you can also find these opportunities on Drexel One. Thomas, did you want to talk about work study?
Yeah, so work study, that email address, libwork study, that goes actually to me. Um, you can email, even if you're not necessarily sure that you have work study, I could tell you how to find out. You would know it's based on your FAFSA. You would see under the billing and financial aid tab of your Drexel One an option to accept that work study funding. That is funding which comes from the government and you're paid out of a general fund. Um, and it's need-based. So if you qualify, then and you accept it, you can apply and you could work at the library. Um, there's also, other work study opportunities on campus as well, of course. Um, and there's a page online where you can browse and see the different opportunities for work study at Drexel. If you don't have work study, there's also some student employment opportunities. Admittedly, not as many of those, because that would involve you being paid by whatever segment of Drexel that you're working for, not government funds. But yeah, you can work. You could be a front desk person at the library. You could work in archives. You could work in our IT department. You could work in our resource sharing department. They handle basically anything that goes in and out of the library, usually books. They handle all of that, shelving and organization of the books. They handle all that as well. Um, so there's a lot of options for working at the library if that's something that you're interested in. Just go ahead and shoot an email to LibWork Study.
Thank you, Thomas. Okay, so in summary, we are here for you. Everything at the library is available to you as a Drexel student. And of course, we want you to succeed in every way possible. So, no matter what your assignments, no matter what your major is, no matter what your plans are after school, we are here for you and we hope you come to the library. And then I just want to go over our welcome week at the Drexel Libraries. Feel free to come to our open house events. We have September 16th through the 20th. Any of those days, you can come in and visit our library to learn more about what we offer and what we do here. We also have the midweek recharge chair massages, September 18th. No need to come in and do anything academic. Just come in and relax and have a massage. And then, of course, we also have guided tours listed here below. But if you can't make these, just let us know and maybe, we could arrange something else if those times do not work for you. And then feel free to visit the Drexel Libraries website and poke around. And of course, ask us any questions if you have any. Thank you.